Hi, Nick. My name is Valerie, and I just finished watching your PPP presentation, and here are my notes on it. I thought it was pretty well rehearsed. It sounded really pulled together in a lot of parts because of that, and the flow of it was really nice. As far as what would differentiate you from other people in your field, I think that you talking about messing with that animation program when you were younger is what's going to set you aside. I feel like most people at that age are going to have a very vague idea of what they want to do. So if they're artistically inclined, you'll be like, oh, I want to do something in art. Whereas you knew specifically computer animation. You were messing with animation programs already, trying to learn things. And I think you having that solid idea early on is going to be one of your biggest assets as far as proving that you're in it for the long haul, because you've been wanting to do this for like 10 or more years already. As far as who your target audience was, I was kind of unclear on that. I got a real sense of who you are and like what you want to do, but not who you want to do it for. I think it would help for you to choose a company specifically, since you can kind of change that later on. If you want to use this as like a video resume, you could just change the name of the company and a few of the details. Maybe like I have a friend who's got an interview at Pixar, and so since you want to be a computer animator, I think Pixar would be a really great studio for you. Or even if you want to go into business yourself, I think both of those would be really attainable for you. For Pixar or like a similar company, you could do some research into the history of the company and kind of who they look for and what they look for in a candidate. And the same goes for starting your own business. You can kind of look into what goes into starting that up. And, at that point, you would probably target this video towards future clients. So maybe like screenwriters or like a freelance studio that needs, people for kind of like on call or something like that. I feel like your brand mantra, like all of our brand mantras, were supposed to be a little bit closer to almost job titles in a way. I too kind of just listed qualities of myself and was told to really like narrow that down. So when you said you're amiable and loyal, I think you could probably amend that to be like a loyal computer animator or an amiable computer animator. Or something along those lines. I do like that you listed amiable and loyal. I feel like those are two traits that they're not uncommon, but it's just not something you see on like a resume. And so I feel like that'll also kind of help set you aside a little bit. I do get a good sense of who you are with that though. And I think that it really will kind of set you aside from the crowd. As for your delivery, at times it was kind of slow paced. And there were times when that made a lot of sense. Like, it made what you were saying have more impact. Like when you were talking about your childhood and kind of learning what discovering what you wanted to be when you grew up. That slower pacing really helped everything have a little bit more of an impact. But later on, when you started talking about your passion for it and everything, the slower pacing kind of detracted from it. It didn't sound like you were that passionate about it because you were talking a little bit slower. So I think as the presentation goes on, if you got a little bit more excited and just more energetic, I think that would really help to kind of display non-verbally your passion for computer animation. It also seemed like just something that could be fixed with practice, though. I, too, probably had a lot of pacing issues. And I think just rehearsing and getting it locked down so that you don't feel like you have to check notes or have any kind of like assistance for that will help you work on the delivery a little bit better rather than focusing on making sure you're saying what you want to say. For your nonverbal delivery, I think you did really, really great. I've worked in the video game industry where CEOs and vice presidents come in jeans and t-shirts. So I know that industry is very laid back. So you kind of had a more business casual vibe going on with the collared shirt. You made pretty good eye contact, except when you were looking at your outline or something else that was on your computer. Again, that's something that I was doing too. And I think that's something that can be fixed with just a little bit more practice. But other than that, You didn't have any like glances off screen, or you didn't seem very nervous. And so I think your nonverbal delivery was really great. I also think that you had a really good like light use of your hands. I could tell you were using them a little bit to express yourself, but it wasn't crazy. It wasn't distracting. It actually like served to kind of enhance your presentation. So I think that you did that really well. But overall, it seemed to really pull together. I can tell that you practiced. The room was maybe a little dark is all, but like you said, you worked a lot of hours all the time, so you probably did this in the middle of the night. High five for that, because I could not have stayed up late to work on that. But yeah, overall good job, and I definitely took some notes from your presentation, and I'm excited to see the revised version.